So at the very least, I was able to verify that, in fact, Elon Musk's grandfather was a technocrat, and he seems to have been arrested as part of the ban of technocracy in Canada in the early 1940s, and he was also let go.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now sometime last week has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, when the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Corona, New Mexico.
And then, of course, getting back to the birth of May in 1948, and then, her life and her account of traveling the world and looking for, ancient lost cities and stuff like that. That does not happen randomly. Why are technocrats suddenly traveling around the world looking for ancient ruins? That's a very good question, isn't it? And again, it's not impossible to think that multiple people, higher ups, alphabet soup agencies, and the rest were aware of this situation, or perhaps even assisting in it. Now, there's also another element to the letter here that mentions May Musk's connection to Charles Manson.
Ale.
That's God. An aquatic anomaly. Tourists seen kayaking in the driest and hottest place in America.
There are things in the book of Revelation that will shock you. The Bible tells us of the real apocalypse, a burning mountain thrown into the sea, a bottomless pit being opened and releasing the most foul, demonic creatures you could ever imagine. An army of human-like locusts that hunt down anyone without the seal of God on their foreheads.
Ale.
So that's God, G-O-D. Now we're going to do Most High of the Most High.
Strong's H, 5945. Elyon.
The claims that were presented in the letter I was not able to verify, but I'll share them with you. First off, that May Halderman, this is before she was May Musk, was arrested at age 23 in the Manson Roundup. And that's something, again, I couldn't find anything on it. The letter also claims that there is a picture of May in the first original Helter Skelter book, and states that there's many reprints and fake copies. Again, I have no clue. There's no way for me to verify that, but I will share it with you all. The third thing that's mentioned here is that Tuska was conceived during a prison visit to Charlie Manson, suggesting that Elon's sister was not conceived by Errol Musk, who, by the way, as I was looking into for this video, discovered that he actually had a child with his stepdaughter. So that's the kind of folks we're dealing with. Elon Musk's alleged bloodfather, Errol Musk, having children with their stepchildren. But getting back to May and Charlie Manson, the claim in the letter here is that Tuska was conceived during a prison visit with Charlie Manson.
Of light, and I never called her May to her face. Never. I never called her light. Only light. And like, I would live to see the next day if I ever did that. Like, do not, under penalty, do not ever say her real name. And I wasn't supposed to know her real name because she was in the Helter Skelter book. My aunt had a copy, and there were plenty of copies at thrift stores for 10, 20 years, and now they're not there.
So she was actually mentioned, she was the May in Charles
Yes, but you can't find that book. It's been reprinted. There's reprints that say first edition, but they're not the one I saw for the first 10 years.
Okay.
So there's reprints, and they don't say second edition, it's second edition, but there's a picture of me missing. So, okay, I was so she asked me if I would babysit. Okay, she asked me if I would babysit while she went to see Charlie Manson. Oh, I thought that was strange. She would tell me that right out, you know.
And the claim here is that Mae Musk or Mae Halderman called herself Light, as in, you know, L-I-G-H-T, I am light, like Lucifer is light, bought a van load of TVs and delivered them to the Manson gang and instigated race riots and created chaos. And the author of the letter also mentioned that the Manson crew here, or the people assisting the Manson crew, were also working with the Imola Lane State Mental Hospital. And I looked up the Imola Lane State Mental Hospital, and it's definitely an old hospital. There are articles written about the mystery of the asylum, and there is a NapaValleyRegister.com 2-part article talking about Napa's insane asylum. And there were, at one point in the 1960s, 5,000 residents at this asylum. And it makes you wonder what kinds of experiments were conducted on.
And I'm told things like he's the chosen one, whatever that means.